High up in the misty hills of Ireland, where the lush green landscape is often shrouded in a veil of fog, there exists a legend that has haunted the Irish countryside for centuries. On nights when the full moon bathes the rolling hills in silver light, a chilling, sorrowful cry can be heard piercing the silence, a sound so mournful and haunting that it sends shivers down the spines of all who hear it. This is the wail of the Banshee, a ghostly figure whose presence foretells impending death. The Banshee is not a creature of malice, but rather a spectral messenger, bound to the world of the living by grief and sorrow. She is described as an ethereal woman cloaked in a flowing gown, her hair long and silver, cascading down like a river of moonlight. Her ghostly pale skin, almost luminescent under the moon, only adds to her haunting appearance. Yet it is her eyes that captivate and terrify the most, glowing red from centuries of endless weeping, eyes that have witnessed the passing of countless souls and have mourned each one. Legends say that the Banshee only appears to families of ancient Irish blood, families whose lineage can be traced back to the old clans of Ireland. Her wail is not a random occurrence, but a deeply personal omen, a warning to those whose ancestors have long lived on this sacred land. She stands vigil outside their homes, her presence a spectral guardian, waiting for the moment when a soul is ready to cross to the other side. Her cries echo through the mist, reverberating across the hills and valleys, sending chills down the spines of all who hear her mournful lament. But who is the Banshee, and why does she grieve so deeply? Some believe she was once a woman wronged in life, cursed to mourn for eternity as penance for sins she may have committed. Others say she is a benevolent spirit, a protector of the families she visits, ensuring that the souls of the departed do not make the journey into the afterlife alone. It is said that if you hear her cry, you should not run, but instead listen, for her voice carries the sorrow of generations and the wisdom of those who have passed before us. The appearance of the Banshee is as varied as the legends themselves. In some stories, she is a withered old woman, her back hunched and her face lined with sorrow. Her hair, white as snow, falls in wild tangles, and her voice quivers with the weight of centuries of mourning. In other tales, she is a beautiful young maiden, her form graceful and almost angelic, as if to remind us that even in death, beauty can exist. There are even accounts of the Banshee taking the form of a bird-like creature with dark wings that cast ominous shadows over the land, her cries echoing like the call of a raven. The Banshee's wail is described in many ways, sometimes a soft, mournful sob that tugs at the heartstrings, other times a piercing, ear-splitting scream that freezes the blood. Those who have encountered her speak of feeling an overwhelming sadness, as if the weight of all the grief in the world were pressing upon them. It is said that her cries are not just a warning of death, but also a lament for the world itself, for the cycle of life and loss that spares no one. Despite the fear she inspires, the Banshee is a figure of respect and reverence in Irish folklore. She serves as a poignant reminder of our own mortality, of the ties that bind us to our ancestors, and the inevitability of life's end. Her presence, though haunting, is also comforting to some, a symbol of the unbroken connection between the living and the dead, between past and present. Imagine a scene, a family gathered around the fire in an old stone cottage, whispering stories of the Banshee as the wind howls outside. The elders speak of times they've heard her wail, of loved ones who passed soon after, and of the eerie sense of calm that followed, as if the spirit had guided them safely to the other side. The younger generation listens with wide eyes, equal parts frightened and fascinated, wondering if they too will one day hear the Banshee's mournful call. The Banshee is a legend deeply rooted in the landscape and history of Ireland, a spectral presence that embodies the beauty and sorrow of this ancient land. Her wail continues to echo through time, a ghostly melody that reminds us all of the fleeting nature of life and the enduring bonds of family and legacy.